Hello and welcome here at Asia Auto Ambassador. You are seeing me through the display of a digital mirror. These cams come as an option with the all-new Genesis GV60. The GV60 is the first pure electric vehicle from the Korean premium brand, which is part of the Hyundai Motor Group. The GV60 is sharing the eGMP called platform. It's electric global modular platform with the Kia EV6 and the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Today we are able to have a first look at the European spec version of the all-new GV60, and I hope you join me. Two thin LED lights are part of the Genesis design philosophy, as well as a big grille. However, this is not needed to cool an internal combustion engine here, but of course you need air to cool the batteries. By the way, the batteries in the GV60 have a weight of almost 480 kilograms. The car we have here is painted in a bright color, as you can see, called Sao Paulo Lime, and you see 21-inch rims here. They don't look too big, too large because of the overall proportions of the car. The GV60 has got a height of 1 meter and 58 centimeters, so it's higher than the Kia EV6, for example, and 3 centimeters less high than the Hyundai Ioniq 5. The length of the car is 4 meters and 52 centimeters, so it's the most compact one of these three electric vehicles coming from the Korean group of companies. In the floor of the car there's a 77.4 kilowatt hours battery pack. It looks like that Genesis will only offer this one battery size here, at least in Europe, but you have a choice of 3 different powertrains. The base model, it's got one engine at the rear, driving the rear wheels, the rear axle, and the maximum power output is 168 kilowatts or 229 horsepower. There will be an all-wheel drive version where the electric motor here has got a maximum power of 160 kilowatts, and there's an additional electric motor at the front driving the front wheels with an additional 74 kilowatts. And here we've got the top model, 160 kilowatts here, an additional 160 kilowatts at the front, so that means 320 kilowatts, 436 horsepower maximum, and a maximum torque of 700 Newton meters. And in addition, there's a boost button at the steering wheel where you can have an additional 40 kilowatts or 20 kilowatts per motor, and then the GV60 accelerates from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.0 seconds, so that's quite fast. And for example, overtaking 80 to 120 kilometers will only take 2.5 seconds, and the top speed will be 235 kilometers per hour. I guess at latest then, no one can say electric vehicles don't make fun. Here at the rear, again, you see the 2 lines graphics for the lights, and we've got an electric tailgate. The boot capacity is 432 liters. In addition, there's the frunk. At the rear-wheel drive, or in the rear-wheel drive car, the frunk's got a capacity of 53 liters, and with the additional motor in the front, so all-wheel drive, there's 20 liters frunk compartment. We do have a removable floor here. You know that from a lot of other vehicles, an additional storage compartment. And what is quite clever is the way where you can also remove this part of the floor to easily access the charging cable. That makes sense when you've got luggage here, or for example a box with your dog, and you can still have easy access to the cable. You can charge the car here, and also the GV60 has got the 800 volt systems. That means at a high speed charger you can fill the the battery from 10 to 80% state of charge in only 18 minutes, sorry, 18 seconds is still science fiction. And yeah, whether it will be 220 or 240 kilowatts of maximum charging power, this is not known yet, but it's fast enough, of course. What else is interesting here? You've got this adapter for vehicle to load opportunity. So plug it in here, and then the car gives electricity to other outlets. You could even charge another electric vehicle that's, for example, stranded with an empty battery. The maximum power output here is 3.6 kilowatts. So if you would need to charge another vehicle, of course, this takes some time. But yeah, in an emergency of an empty battery, you can fill some energy in the other car's battery to access a power socket or a charger. Let's have a look into the car now. The wheelbase of the GV60 measures 2 meters and 90. That's the wheelbase of the Hyundai Ioniq 5. The Kia EV6, by the way, is stretching itself by 10 more centimeters in terms of wheelbase with 3 meters. My height is 1 meter 92 centimeters. That's 6 feet 3 inches, by the way. And as always, I have adjusted the driver's seat into my individual seating position, so I can still fit behind my imaginary cells in terms of leg space. That is okay. However, I don't find enough space for the feet underneath the seat. And we have the batteries in the floor of the car. That means that the seating position is not most ideal because the seat or the bench is not high enough above the floor. And of course, you have to find a compromise between the height of the seats and the headroom. We've got the roof line that declines here at the rear of the car, and at least for people in my height, but I'm not the normal guy, of course. The headroom, headspace is quite limited. The seats themselves are very comfortable, very nice. This is artificial leather interior called Blue Navy in blue color. There will be a leather upholstery interior as an option. There's an armrest with 2 cup holders. And of course, Isofix kid seats can be adjusted. The Isofix system is hidden somewhere here. There's a power socket underneath the bench, and we've got 2 USB-C charging opportunities here for smartphones and mobile devices, and a large storage compartment here underneath the center console. The passenger seat can be adjusted also from the rear by these buttons here. That will be a lot of fun when families are traveling and the kids are changing mother's or father's seating position all the time. So better that you discuss that before you start your journey. Here's an additional storage compartment at the back side of the backrest of the front seats. And now we have a look into the door panel. All the materials look very nice already here in the pre-production vehicle. We can see we've got contrast stitching here in the same color, or more or less the same color as the exterior of the car. And these materials here, it's microfiber material, looks quite nice. We've got an optional Bang & Olufsen sound system that will be available for the GV60. And what I like is the cup holder here in the door panel that's easy to access while driving or while being driven in the rear seat compartment of the car. Well, being driven, that means there must be a driver, and the driver is sitting in the first row, and I will have a look now into the cockpit. The 800-volt system means that charging stops are quite short with these Korean electric vehicles. However, after the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and the EV6, also the Genesis GV60 has these relaxation seats. So by pressing one button, you can have a short nap, and after that, of course, the seat brings you back in an upright position, and also the steering wheel, as we see, comes back to the position for you to drive. So the seats are adjustable electrically as well as the steering wheel, and there you can easily find comfortable seating position. The space for the legs is long enough and wide enough. So yeah, for me as a tall person, it's easy to find a good seating position here. We talked about the optional cameras instead of mirrors. They have a display that is mounted in the door panel. That makes sense because you see the picture of the camera where you would keep an eye on the mirror anyway. For me, in my personal opinion, this position is far better than the one in the Audi e-tron, where the display is a little bit lower in the door panel and not that easily visible. The design is very nice here, and the whole cockpit looks very upmarket. Of course, here you see the premium approach of Genesis as a brand. Also here in the already in the pre-production vehicle, it looks far more upmarket than the interior, for example, in a Kia EV6. The glove box can be opened here, and yeah, it slides out. I quite like that, and there might still be enough space for the knees and the legs of the passenger when you need to open the glove box. And it's quite tall, isn't it? Well, plug it. So we close it again and have a look here at the cockpit, which of course is using a lot of technique, software and hardware from the other brands. There's a head-up display with augmented reality content, such as the lane keeping assistant and sat-nav information, and two large displays. The middle display for infotainment is a touchscreen. All the menu layout is Genesis specified, so it's not showing the Hyundai or Kia layout, but reminds on other Genesis vehicles. Here, for example, you've got the EV menu showing the current range of the car, 84% battery state of charge, and the range we can achieve. Then you can, for example, go to vehicle settings, driving assistance, and choose whatever you want. So that's all quite easy. However, if you don't want to use a touchscreen, for example, while you're driving, you can still use a controller here in the center console. Again, I go to 3D car settings, driving assistance, so I can easily access everything here, make my choice, and so on. There's a back button, a home button, and a menu button, and we've got physical controllers here for the audio volume and to tune, also radio sender, radio station, and a music track, for example. That's all very easy, and it's accessible when you have your hand at the steering wheel. The arm falls down and you can easily access the controller. There's an additional display behind the steering wheel with the current speed, the driving assistance, for example, and here's a small touch button that reminds a little bit on current Mercedes-Benz vehicles and on old BlackBerry smartphones, in case you still know what I mean. And then you can also choose different menus here, for example, the trip computer and so on. That's maybe while driving not that easy to use. This will need to be tested during the year at a first test drive. All the other functions in the multifunction steering wheel still have physical buttons, which is good. The drive mode can be changed here, Eco, Comfort and Sport. And there's a snow mode as well. And here's the boost button that gives an additional 20 kilowatts per motor. In addition to the touchscreen and the controller, we have physical buttons here as well to access media, radio, sat-nav and the map. And there is the control panel for the air condition. That means I have physical buttons here for the temperature control for both driver and passenger, and all the rest, well, here we've got buttons as well, but all the rest, like for example the choice of the circulation or the direction of the air vents and so on, that can be done here via small touch screen. I like the design and also the finish. That's all easily doable. Here we've got the seat heating and seat cooling, steering wheel heating, but what is really an interesting feature or nice design gimmick, your choice, what you think, is the crystal sphere called glass element here. Now, currently it shines in a purple color, depending on the ambient light color you choose. And when you start the vehicle, we can start it now already. Yeah, it moves, and then it's the controller for the gear shifter. And when I stop the vehicle, it closes down again, and then there's also here information that one of the windows is open. So it all looks quite nice here, upmarket, comfortable, quite modern. Yeah, I like it, and I can't wait for first test drive. However, this is not possible today with this pre-production vehicle. This was my first check and my first impression of the all-new Genesis GV60. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thanks for subscribing to the channel in advance. Thanks for following Asia Auto Ambassador on Instagram. I hope you do all that. You like the video, you comment it, you share with your friends. That will help me in growing the whole project, and I'm pretty sure that I can present a first driving impression of the GV60 and of course of a lot of other cars from Asian brands in the future on this channel. See you soon, thank you, and bye-bye.